So if you're someone who videos your own golf swing and you think, hey, my golf swing looks perfectly okay, yet the golf ball is flying out to the right, flying out to the left, and you have no idea why. The reason this could be happening could be nothing to do with your golf swing, but everything to do with this. So as you could see there, the golf swing looked perfectly okay, yet my golf ball went everywhere. Now I want you to keep watching this video because I'm going to provide you the answer that you're looking for, and trust me, it's not in your golf swing. It's actually got nothing to do with the swing. So stay tuned, watch the rest of this video, and you're going to have the answer that you're looking for. Hopefully you saw exactly what happened there. What was the cause of my golf ball going well out to the right and well out to the left? Well, if you saw from this angle here, you would have noticed that the only change was my ball position. Now, my ball position had a massive influence on a shot that went well out to the right and well out to the left. And I'm going to explain exactly why ball position has a massive influence on where your golf ball goes. So the one thing you need to be aware of, and I hope you are aware of this, but the golf swing doesn't move straight back and straight through. I hear a lot of golfers always talking about, I need to take my club straight back, and that's just not true. If you think about how our club sits on the ground, in order for the club to go straight back in a golf swing, I would need to have a golf club that sits just like that. But that's not the case in golf. Our golf club sits at an angle, and our golf club actually works on an arc, both back and through. So this is what makes ball position so crucial. If your golf ball is too far back in your stance, what we're going to see is a golf club that is arcing around during the backswing, but also arcing from the inside during the downswing. And if that ball is way back in the stance, you are going to hit it way too far from the inside, and then all of a sudden it depends on what this face is doing. So you saw there where my ball position was back in my stance, you saw a ball that went out to the right, but also from the same ball position you saw it go to the left. So what changes? This thing, the club face changes. When I have that golf ball way back in my stance, on the way down, my path is always going to be from the inside, maybe a bit too excessively from the inside. Now, if my face is pointing out to the right at that moment in time, that ball gets sent well out to the right. However, if I keep the path the same, but I close this face, all of a sudden I'm going to have a lot of what we call hook spin, and that golf ball is going to start out to the right and be brought all the way back to the left. So if you're a golfer who struggles with both the right shot and the big hook shot, maybe look at your ball position. Perhaps it's too far back. Now, you also notice that I was able to hit the ball left and right with an excessively forward ball position. Now, the reason for this is because when we put the ball forward on our arc, the golf club is now moving more to the left. So again, when this ball position's forward in the arc or forward in the feet, the club now moves more to the left because the club is arcing from in to out, in and around this way. So when that ball is forward in our stance, you're going to see the club is arcing around to the left. And again, the ball flight that you hit with that ball position is going to be determined by the club face. If my club face is aiming left at the moment of impact, you're going to see that ball take off to the left. If your face is open at the point of impact, you're going to see that ball slice out to the right. So when you're a slicer of the golf ball, you may want to have a look at your ball position. For slicers, you need a more back ball position. For hookers and drawers of the golf ball, you may need a more forward ball position. And that's why the ball position you use is super important. You want to make sure that your ball position is fairly central with pretty much every club in the bag. Maybe when you get to 3-iron and 4-iron and maybe your hybrids and fairway woods, they start to move a bit more forward. That's okay, but with the majority of your irons, your short irons, your mid irons, what you'll want to do is have that ball position pretty much in the center of your stance. That would mean you're giving yourself an absolutely ideal opportunity to hit that ball as straight as possible. So as you can see here, I've set up my golf balls in a way to show you how the club works during the backswing and in the downswing. If we were to set up to this middle ball, during the backswing, I want my club to move slightly in. It will keep going up and around as your body turns. And then in the downswing, we want to make sure that this club is coming from the inside. But again, if my ball is too far back in my stance, you're going to send the ball out to the right or hook it to the left. As my body keeps turning around the corner, I start to square that path up. My face becomes a lot more square. The path becomes a lot more square. Gives me an opportunity to hit it fairly straight. And then the more forward that ball position goes, the more this club is arcing to the left, potentially putting on that slice spin, or if the face is closed, we hit that big pull that you saw me hit. So I'm sure you all have questions. What about the driver? The irons is simple. Let's just place that in the middle of the stance for the majority of your irons. But what about when we get to the longer stuff? You've always been told to put that ball position inside the left heel with your driver. Now this is correct, but it depends on the shot you're trying to hit. If you're someone who's trying to hit a high draw with your driver, just be aware that the ball position being super far forward, as it should be with driver, is going to make the draw type ball flight seem a lot more difficult. This is why you see a lot of tour players playing on the tours and around the world. They have all moved to sliding the golf ball from left to right. They all prefer to hit a fade nowadays. And that's just because it's so much easier to hit a fade with the ball position being more forward than it is to hit a draw with that ball position back. If the ball position's too far back with our driver, we're going to end up hitting down on the golf ball too much. You might get that pop-up shot, or we end up hitting it really low, comes out really low, and we don't get any distance. So just be aware that when you are teeing it up with a driver and you're trying to hit a draw, it is always going to be a lot more difficult. It is possible to hit a draw, but you really have to feel like that club is coming from in to out and trying to close that face, because the ball position is not helping with hitting a draw with the driver. All right, so what we're going to do now is I'm going to have a little bit of fun with you here. I'm going to hit all 5 of these golf shots. No edits, no cuts. We're just going to see where they go. Now, my prediction is that the back ball position either blocks out to the right or it hooks round to the left for me. And the front ball position either hits a big pull or I slice it out to the right. And then ideally, the middle ball position, I'm going to either play one of my stock standard little straight shots, or maybe it fades, or maybe it draws. Probably today with the wind, it's probably going to fade, but let's give this a go. So I'm going to bring out a golf ball and hit the golf shot for you, see what ball position, see what flight we get. So let's go with this one here, as you can see, really far back in the stance. I hope none of you have this type of ball position, but let's see where this ends up. Okay, thin and out to the right. So there's a pretty good prediction that that's where that ball went. So let's bring out the next back ball position. So in this case, it's not too far back. Maybe this is one that is good for today in the wind. So let's bring this one out and let's hit this golf shot. I would imagine that this would draw a little bit for me as opposed to maybe block out to the right. So there you go, a little bit of a push. Tried to draw back, I think the wind just kept it out there. But as you can see there, that one pretty much started out to the right and stayed there. Again, a pretty thin golf shot. I think that's my body trying to feel like it moves back. So let's go with the extra forward ball position now. So this is actually going to be quite hard to reach. Again, I would hope that none of you have this ball position. However, I have seen it from some players. So let's give this a go. Pull or a slice is what's going to happen here. And there it is. Big slice. And again, I'm not trying to change my golf swing. All I'm trying to do is have a normal golf swing, but the ball position I use is going to influence the flight. So now we've got the semi-forward ball position. This should go a little straighter, but I think it would still fade to the right. A little bit thin, and as you can see, there it goes. So again, Nothing in my golf swing is changing other than the ball position. So now we have our normal ball position, and ideally what I want to see here is just a nice little straight shot. And there you have it. So much easier to start the ball on line, hit a nice little straight shot, and as you can see, all 5 ball positions produced a similar shot. So in my case, the further back it went, the more out to the right, the further forward, the more it started left and faded, and then ultimately a little bit of a shanky thin shot on the straight one. But because the ball position was in a good spot, I was able to hit it semi-straight. So hopefully you enjoyed that video and learned a lot from it. Now, if your issue isn't with the ball position, however, you're still hitting that golf ball way out to the right, way out to the left, then you absolutely need to watch the video that's on the screen right now. Instead of talking about ball position, we're going to be talking about more in-swing things that are going to affect that ball flight. And again, watch this video, it's going to solve all your problems.